Hi, my name is Alex, and I'd like to introduce you to the game of Othello today. In today's session, we will be covering a brief history of Othello and some basic rules to the game. Hey everyone, so as mentioned before, this is an introduction to Othello. Let's just dive right into the topics for today. So today's topics are the history of Othello, some Othello trivia, and the rules of the game. So that is actually a picture of me at the World Othello Championship 2016 in Mito, Japan. I was receiving my team third place medal as part of a member of Team Singapore. So the World Othello Championship always goes back to where it all started in Mito, Japan. Every 10 years, the tournament would always return on the year ending with a 6. While it has been known that similar versions of the game has existed since the 1800s, the starting position was actually formally patented in 1971 by the late Mr. Goro Hasegawa from Mito, Japan. He is widely recognized as the inventor of Othello. Following the popularization of the game, the first ever World Othello Championship was held at Tokyo, Japan in 1977. The event has since been held annually all over the world. Since then, 43 individual world champions from 1977 to 2019 has been born. A total of 31 or 72% of them were actually from Japan. Among all, Mr. Hideshi Taminori is widely known as the best player in the world. He has the highest number of individual world championship titles at a total tally of 7. The Team World Othello Championships were introduced in 1987. In the earlier years of the team championships, it was the United States, United Kingdom, and France that actually dominated the field. However, with the modernization of Othello, Japan has since captured the last 15 World Championship team titles since 2005. The last time a non-Japanese team actually won the team title was back in 2004, when Ben City actually led the United States of America to victory. Now for a little bit of Othello trivia. Since it was invented in 1971, the game has become widely popular in the world, with players starting the game as young as the age of 4 to as old as their 90s. Almost anyone could easily pick up the game. There are also special players who are visually challenged but continue to dedicate themselves to practicing Othello. Interestingly, the youngest World Othello champion is Mr. Keisuke Fukuchi, who just recently won the WOC 2018 at a young age of 11 years old. Besides the junior category, there is also a special category dedicated for women to win attractive prizes at the championships. So, Miss Joanna William, who is the World Female Othello Champion 2014 and 2019, currently holds the most number of female world titles, with a total tally of 3, including the Othello World Cup 2013. So many ladies also play and enjoy the game of Othello. Let's now talk about the rules of the game. The board game Othello is played on an 8x8 square board, and the board is usually identified with its distinct green color board and 64 pieces of two-sided discs, with one side being black in color and the other being white. The objective of the game is to get as many discs as possible of your color faced up at the end of the game. The game begins with 2 intersecting black and white discs in the center of the board, just like so, and by convention, black always goes first. In order to make a legal move, one must place a disc of your own color on the board, where the disc that is being placed is directly sandwiching one or more of your opponent's color discs with your own existing discs. Once that action is done, you may flip all your opponent's continuous discs in between the discs that you just placed on the board and all your existing discs on the board. So for example, if I were playing black right now and making the first move, I would place a disc on this square and flip the white disc in between. So I'm playing a black disc to E6 over here, just clicking on it, and then you can see the flipping action occurs on the disc that is directly sandwiched between the disc that I just placed, which is E6, and my existing disc of E4, and I get to flip the disc, the white disc, at E5. Flipping it over to the color of mine. So now if the turn is handed over to the white player would then have 3 options essentially. So this flipping action can actually occur vertically. So white can play D6 and flip d5, or horizontally, white can play to f4 over here and flip e4, or white can even play f6 and sandwich the disc to e5 and flip it from a diagonal manner. So let's just see that in action. White could go to d6 and flip the vertical disc in this manner, or white could go to f4 and flip the disc at e4, or white could go to f6 and flip the disc at e5, making a diagonal cut across. As the game progresses, both players will take turns to make legal moves. They will also flip all the required discs based on the rules of the game. As you can see, some moves actually require players to flip multiple discs in multiple directions. It is therefore important that you take note of all the discs that you require to flip before and also during making each move. However, do not be too discouraged if you make any disc flip error, because it is even possible that seasoned players actually make the same mistake. In the event where a player does not have any more legal moves, a pass will actually be announced based on the top right. There are no legal moves right now for white, and therefore white would have to pass the move to black. So black will then be allowed to make a subsequent move as long as there is a legal one available. The cycle repeats if a move made by black follows with no further legal moves for white, or vice versa. So that would actually repeat itself with repeated passes of moves, if possible, until white finally obtains a legal move to play, and white would then have to play based on the rules of the game. So again, over here, if black plays h4, there is another pass of move because g4 is not a legal move for white, and therefore black would then pick up this square and make the final move to g4. The game ends when there are two consecutive passes in a game, or if the whole board is filled. In this case, the total score will then be tallied, and for this game it will end with a result of 53-11 in favor of black. Having covered some basic rules to the game, I would now like to talk a little bit about scoring. The summation of results for every single Othello game should always sum up to a total of 64. However, there are special situations where the game actually ends with two consecutive passes and also with one or more empty squares. Let's now take a look at an example of a wipeout opening. So the game has actually ended over here with black with 13 discs and 0 for white. In this case where the game has ended, the number of discs will also be tallied. There are 13 black discs on the board and 0 white discs on the board. So all the empty squares on the board, by virtue of the rules of the game, will actually be counted towards the score of the winner. In this case, it is black. So the final score that is reported should be 64-0 in favor of black. Finally, I would like to share why I love Othello. The result of any given Othello game is often unpredictable. Even if you're losing in the very last few moves, it is still possible that you can turn the tables around, much like things in life. You can also be creative when playing in Othello because there are multiple lines and multiple variations which you can turn into your own specialization and therefore achieve success. The game also enhances your logical and critical thinking skills when you are pinpointing which moves to make over others. It also allows you to practice your visualization skills when you are actually trying to visualize a few steps ahead, looking at the shapes and how the possible turnouts may be. Finally, the game also enhances your memory as you try to review your games and also pursue further heights in Othello. On that note, I'd like to thank you for watching my video and wish you all the best in your Othello journey.